Five, four, three, two, one. Hey guys, my name is Charlie, and this is my first official blog post on my YouTube channel. This entire channel is dedicated to one thing, and that is my trip in January from Alabama to Texas. To give you the basics of the trip, me and a friend of mine decided that we were fed up with living here, with living in the situations that we are. We don't feel like there's any opportunities left for us here in Prattville, and we desperately want to leave. But because of the fact that there are no opportunities in Prattville, it's very difficult to get out of here. And anybody who lives in a small town will probably be able to agree with me that it's kind of a trap. It's really difficult to get out of a small town once you kind of settle up and put roots down and all that good stuff. And I've been in Prattville for a good 8, almost 9 years now. Definitely long enough for the trap to set in and dig its teeth very well deep into my leg. This idea was given to me by Dakota. Which is the name of the guy that's going to be going with me. And his idea was to pack up and not have any kind of deadlines or travel plans. He's gonna map out the first month's worth of route, and then after that, kind of play it by ear. Very much take control of where we go when we get there and everything else in between. Putting our own survival in our own hands, kind of thing. And honestly and truly, this is a giant motivational tool for both he and I to kind of get our shit together elsewhere, because we don't want to be here anymore. To give you a little bit of background information on myself, I grew up as a military kid. My father was in the Air Force for a good 20 years. He retired, I want to say, 3 or 4 years ago. I was born in England. We went from England over to Germany, where my little brother was born, and our first United States station that I lived in was in Missouri. We lived in Missouri for a good 7 years before we moved here. We were stationed down in Montgomery. And since then, my parents have gotten divorced. My mother and my father did. And my father retired from the Air Force and moved from Alabama up to Pennsylvania, where his parents are from. The divorce it ripped a really, really large hole in the life that my brother, myself, and my mom had all gotten to know and love. I mean, that's kind of what divorce does. No real story there, but that was one of the first turning points in what became a very difficult time in my life. After a couple years after the divorce, my mom was a cop for 4 years here in Prattville. And after that 4th year, she started suffering from, the nicest way to put it is mental breakdowns, because of trauma that she had undergone growing up. As much as I'll talk about how difficult my life was growing up, and I've come to terms with the fact that it very much was difficult, it was my mother surviving what she went through that really inspired me to keep going with whatever comes my way. And that being a big inspiration for me is the reason that I am in the spot that I am in now. It's nobody's fault. I don't blame anybody, but I'm sick of it, and it's time to get out. When my mom started suffering from mental breakdowns, she made a huge mistake, and she lost her job at the police department. Because of that, things really just got harder. Obviously, the only person in the household at the time that had a job could not only not continue to work where she was, but could not find a job anywhere else. Just because, well, shit. This whole vlog's about honesty and trying to get everything out, so I might as well say it. She started drinking really, really heavily. And it got to the point where in November of my senior year of high school, I was 16 at the time, and I would have been 17 had I graduated that year. I transferred into homeschooling. The idea behind that being that I could get a full-time job and make money to basically pay bills and eat food and pay rent and blah, 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 all the good reasons that all you adulty people decide to get jobs. Well, of course, I was only 17, so I could only do, dishwashing jobs and cooking jobs and stuff like that. Worked at a couple of restaurants. Bobby, I'll let you in a minute. You're all wet. So, with those jobs came a lot of stress and difficulty keeping myself in check when it came to my own emotional welfare, my own mental well-being. I ended up overexerting myself and giving everything to the survival of the family. I had to basically be a father figure to my younger brother, who's 3 years younger than me. I had to be the adult in the household for a 38-year-old woman who could no longer function. As rude as that might sound, that was very much the case. Rest assured, it's gotten a little bit better since then. I'm not, still living in a nightmarish world of trying to keep my mother alive and making sure my brother doesn't burn down the house. Wow, that sounded dark. But in any case, I've depleted myself to the point that I can't get myself out of my own hole. I've been able to get my family up to a point where they can stand on their own 2 feet, even if just barely. And now I can no longer stand. So this is me taking back control. This whole walking experience, that's what it is. If you got to my page, or if you got to this vlog through the GoFundMe site, then you already know that I'm asking for people to donate up to 40 grand. And I know that's a lot of money, but you got to hear me out. This is my goal. This is what I want to do with that 40 grand. I want to be able to get to Texas, drop down a year's rent on an apartment of my own, a place that I can feel safe. I want to be able to immediately get a building and stock up to open up a vape shop in Texas. This is a vape, for anybody that doesn't know. It's the new age electronic cigarette kind of thing. And it's got a lot of flack behind it, and I'm really not interested in getting into that. But this is one of the things that I know well enough that I could take a shop and just work wonders with it. I've had experience running stores by myself. When I was 18, I was put in the store manager position at a local movie shop here in Prattville. And I turned around their sales very, very quickly. I know I'm very good at it. And I'm really excited about that aspect. But well, what if that doesn't work? What if I don't get $40,000 by when I'm planning to get there, which is going to be January, February, March, probably early April? What the hell happens if I don't get it? Well, thankfully, I do have a plan for that. By the time I get to Texas, my buddy Dakota, his plan is to make his way over to Arizona from Texas, and then from Arizona up to Colorado. So he's not stopping. And if I don't have what I need to build a life when I get there, I'm not stopping either. I'm going to go with him. And if I should get that $40,000 at some point throughout the trip, I will fly back and I will do exactly the same thing as I had intended to do had I gotten the money in the first place. So it kind of makes me feel a little bit better to have a contingency plan on that. But in any case, I know that I'm leaving this entirely up to a group of strangers that knows absolutely nothing about me, and that's one of the things I wanted to fix. If you give any kind of a rat's ass, thank you. If you watch these videos, thank you. If you share these videos, thank you a lot. If you donate, holy crap, thank you even more. I can't really offer a whole lot of incentives. This is literally me pulling myself up by the bootstraps from ground zero and trying to build myself up from there. So I have, if you think you can help me out, on the GoFundMe page I also have a list of gear that I'm going to be needing to be able to complete this venture. And I'd very much appreciate it if anybody contacted me about the possibility of them sending me stuff. If you've just got some freaking hiking gear just lying around that you never thought you'd ever need again, yeah, I could definitely use that. The only thing that I am not taking donations for when it comes to hiking or backpacking equipment is my actual pack, the internal frame backpack that I'm going to be carrying, because it has to fit so well on my back and put pressure in just the right areas. I have to make sure that I get a good pack that will survive 3 months of not giving me back pain. That's a lot of work. But if you would like to help me get that, which is probably the most essential part of this whole enterprise, the backpack that I'm looking into getting is about $270, and as with anything that costs more than 200 and whatever, that was really stupid. As if anything that costs a lot of money, I need help getting it. And if you can help me get it, hell yeah, thank you. I'm going to be posting more of these to try and get myself in the habit of it, try to get used to being in front of the camera. And the idea is to keep this vlog going throughout my trips to Texas and wherever else I go, so that you guys can kind of take the trip with me. I want to be able to get, shots of the cool landscapes and tell you guys where I'm at and just kind of share this adventure as much as I can. I want this to make a lot of noise. Social media presence is kind of a big deal to me because I know that the more presence I have online, the more support I can get. And I need all the support I can get. So, I guess, thanks for trying to help me out. Yeah. Until next time, I'll work on sign-offs and all the fun shit and whatnot. I don't want this to be a boring channel. But, yeah. Thanks. Have a good day. Or something. Oh, yeah. Links in the bottom of the page in the description for my Facebook page, Twitter page, Tumblr page, and my GoFundMe page. All of those are very important to how I'm planning on getting the word out about this thing. So please feel free to follow, share, like, and subscribe to any and all of those that you care to thumb through. And thanks for your support.